because we all want as much league action as we can possibly get. That said, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not getting your fill off of this series, we do have another one coming up a little later today, and that is going to be Southern Regions, University of Texas Austin versus University of Texas Dallas. They will go on to play the winner of George Mason University in the Southern Finals. But we got this game to worry about, and it's an Ornn and Gnar ban off the rip, targeting Saskio, making sure he can't do much in the top lane. Azir to round out. And that's a pretty quick, decisive play coming out from the side of Manitoba.
Yeah, very much so. There is going Sorry, my mic was not there. Got it. So 2 mid lane bans, 3 top lane bans. So targeting both Rodov and Saskio, but also kept and CKG, keeping that Swain off the board. No matter what, huge power player is the Swain right now in the meta. Skarner. This is the first time we've only had 1 jungle ban in the first series of bans for quite a while. Caitlyn being the first one picked up for Hartwig, and Ashe being countered over on the side of Maryville. So shades of how the first game went, but we have a Zac being locked in by cat ears. That one is exciting.
Ooh, yeah, Zac definitely been banned out time and time again from Manitoba. It was banned in the first 2 games from them. Ashe and Zac locked in. Looks like some Season 3 Cloud9 stuff back in the day. Caitlyn answered over. It will be the first pick from Manitoba. We'll see what they take in the second round of the draft before heading over into what will eventually be bans for them. Janna on the docket. Don't want West picking that one up out and away. It could be a bit of a denial. It could just be that KBS didn't have the success he thought he might on the tanky supports, and Sejuani to boot. This is looking like a little bit more of a gloves coming off type game of League of Legends, and Alistar take it up there. Wow.
Yeah, the Janna makes total sense into a Zac, because if Zac's slingshot is very telegraphed. You know exactly when he's going to do it. If you can get vision on him, of course. If he's coming out from on the side of the Rift and the Shadow of War, if you can time it well enough, you can still knock him up and disrupt his slingshot with a tornado from Janna. Same with Monsoon. Sejuani can actually do the same thing with a Boar Rush. Of course, Sejuani, you're not just picking Sejuani to pick it against Zac. You're picking Sejuani because of how much dominance in the jungle and how much ganking potential, especially at level 6, that Sejuani offers. Extremely mobile, tanky, offers a lot of CC. Great pick for Manitoba. May give them what they need in this game number 3, but of course the Zac, huge pick on the side of Maryville. Alistar, very excited to see that one. There's a lot of engage coming out from Maryville.
Yeah, no kidding. They do want to just get in and wombo the combo down. Now Orianna banned out from their own side. They didn't want to deal with it, but I feel like it would have been a great pickup for what they have going on now, just with the wombo combo potential. That said, they're going to find their last ban of the series. It will be Jax. They felt the top lane pressure coming out from Rodov. They say not again, not this time, especially as that champion is strong enough to flex between either for Soul and Rodov. They wouldn't draft it as flex. No. And obviously with the Sejuani picked up, will be just Soul running that Sej, but Rodov, they knew the Jax threat was there, and they knew it's a strong pick for the team. Don't want to see it. So Gangplank taken out and away. Top lane focus this time for sure. That's 4 top lane bans coming out now from the side of Manitoba. They want to shut down Saskio. The problem is his pool is so deep right now that he'll just pick up the Scion. He'll be happy to do it and just run that one through. So now just the mid laner left to counter pick. Cat God been strong when he had the blind pick mids. We'll see how he runs with the counter pick, because now they have to lay it all on the table for the side of the Manitoba Bison. They're going to pull out the victor relatively safe, and we'll see now the last answer for potentially the last game coming out of Maryville University.
Yeah, there's a lot that CKG can work with here. Go back to the Anivia if he wants to counter a control mage with a control mage. Even go with a Syndra. The Syndra has fallen off a little bit. Still powerful, though, especially if you're going to have somebody like Zac and Alistar back you up and have them knock somebody up, CC an enemy long enough. What is West going to pick? Or is it just going to be a dodge? It's going to be a dodge, folks.
Yeah, looks like something went wrong there. We'll see what happens, as Cat Ears may have crashed. He's the only one not in the lobby right now. So we're going to get to the bottom of this and let you know. They do say client died. They couldn't pick anything, but the last pick is Talia, ladies and gentlemen. So we will have same picks and bans coming through. Got to make sure the players know this, of course.
Yeah, and of course Talia also acting as that somewhat zone control mage, laying out the field with the earthen. Oh man, what do they call it? I actually forget what her passive does help out with getting to lanes faster, especially if you're going to go gank bot side, and also worked earth. That's what it's called. And also laying out the zones. You have the seismic shard, the seismic shove also. So very select places you have to play around whenever you're going against a Talia, but the same can be said against a Victor. So CKG just wants to counter that with another control mage. Talia, a lot more global presence with her ultimate Weaver's Wall, able to go down to the bot side. Also act as a nice border and possibly cut off teams during team fights, also during dragon objectives and barrier controls. We've seen that plenty of times with Talia. A lot of use for that champion.
Yeah, very much the case. So we'll be getting back into this one as soon as we possibly can. Some swap-ups coming around. I don't think they're in the right order.
Yeah,
just taking the time to make sure.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, you're communicating with them. I'm actually just going to go ahead and break down game number 3 a little bit more while you do that. And thank you for taking care of that one, Corvus, because I'm not. but game number 3, Manitoba looking to bring this one back. Again, they showed some signs of life in game number 2. That is really huge for them. But it just seemed like Maryville always had them planned out. Even whenever Manitoba were able to get a little bit of a stronghold, Maryville was there to bash it down and then just advance forward even more. Talked about it in game number 2. Everything that Manitoba did right, Maryville did 2 or 3 things right, and maybe they're good. That's something that Manitoba needs to work on, as they did work on their issues in game number 1, and it did improve in game number 2. But so did Maryville. That's the thing; they powered up just as Manitoba powered up, kind of like Goku and Vegeta here. Goku always did outscale Vegeta, but you know, there were like little instances where, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, that Vegeta did give over. Sacrifice something to get onto the level of Goku. Maybe that's what Manitoba looks to be doing here, trying to get onto the level of Maryville right now. And by the way, very topical. Thank you, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Really happy. Thank you, Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball is fun again. By the way, I have
alive and well.
Alive and well. It's fun again. It's mainstream. I have shoes coming in, high top Converse, that have Goku's little symbol on the back on them. Very excited about that one. Irrelevant to the game, but it's okay because one of these days you guys are going to see it, because I'm going to be on camera live at Midwest Campus Class pretty soon. Hopefully be wearing those shoes. If not, I will be live for the CSL Finals in Huntington Beach, California. So look out for them. We're getting back in the game. There we go. Enough stalling.
Absolutely the case. We're gonna have to find an excuse in which it's appropriate for you on camera to walk out in front of the desk and show them kicks. Same picks, same band's gonna be coming through. Well, maybe not the same bands, but they know it's the same pick, so it doesn't matter at this point. So just gonna be taking everything out and away quickly. Should be running through this one reasonably fast. Players know that it's all gonna be same composition, so you know should be.
Yeah.
All fired down in the right order, no swaps or anything, if they're doing it cleanly.
No funny business.
What was I playing again?
Yeah, no funny business in this one, just the same things. And it is good for documentation reasons. Also, it is, I believe it's Riot regulations as well. Keep the exact same pick ban order along with the pick order. So that way, again, for documentation reasons, you don't want to see an Aatrox or an Akali banned out of nowhere and then go back and study a game and see that happening. Talia locked in on that 3rd pick, which I don't remember what they had 3rd pick last time, but again, that was a placement holder, I believe, since we had a disconnect, if I'm not mistaken.
So Talia was the final pick. What they did pick up was their bot lane earlier on, so we'll see.
Oh, that's right. They're just picking in order now, yeah.
Yeah, they're just running it down, so it was the last pick.
I'm picking up what they're laying down.
So yeah, there's the Ashe coming through, and yeah, it's all where it needs to be.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Alistar locked in here for West as well.
We shall.
Which that's gonna be exciting. So there's a lot of displacements, a lot of knockups on the side of Maryville University. Yeah. Alistar, Zach, and of course Sion, if he does ram into somebody with his ultimate, his big charge does knock people up as well, displaces them. I believe it displaces them. I'm not sure, but it does knock them up for sure. Talia also displacing and knocking up with that seismic shift. Seismic shove. Don't remember exactly what it's called, but you get the idea. You know what it is. You'll know when you see it. It's a very.
I think it is seismic shove. I think.
Yeah. It's very true to its name on what it looks like. So good job on Riot for that one. But A lot of displacement, a lot of different CCs coming out. Every champion has some form of CC, and of course Sion. Let's not forget his Q. If he can actually charge that up all the way, does get the knock up on that as well with the big slam of his axe. So a lot of CC from Maryville, a lot of different control that they are going to implement here. While on the other side, Manitoba, they too have a lot working with as well. With Victor, of course, he has the zone control. With the gravity well, Janna can reset a fight very easily, which they're definitely going to need with how all in it looks like Maryville is going to be. So a lot of different sort of engages and disengages coming out from both teams. Should be very exciting team fights.
Yeah, I think so. They definitely want to pull it out. Just all the stops here coming through between these two teams. And so Sion for the Saskio, I like that pickup a lot more when it comes to the team fights. Obviously, Ornn was a great pocket pick for him. It's something that other teams in the future are going to look to have to either pick or ban off the table, something they don't want to see coming through for this guy. But Sion's going to accomplish a lot of the same stuff. Now, he is against the Poppy in the top lane. That should be something new for Rodolph. This is the third distinct champion we've seen him play this time around through this series. Definitely got a strong pool for himself as a high-level player. So Rodolph been standing out in a couple points of this series. It's just been that the macro play sort of faltering, dissolving. Want to see where that comes through, especially as we keep eyes on this top lane matchup. Cat Eaters on Zach too. Big question mark for me. It's been banned against him all series long. We'll see if that's for good reason.
Yeah, Zach is a general ban overall. He has a lot to offer with the long-term engages, and not to mention, he can also displace people with his Let's Bounce, bringing people back into into his own team. Something that, of course, Hartwig and Kep need to be very wary of, and it's going to be so huge onto KBS's shoulders to make sure that Zach is not in position to do that. Of course, Rodolph can also help displace people with against the wall, shoving people away, or even stunning them if they do hit against the wall. So a lot to work with, again, for the disengage. A lot of counter from Manitoba, but man, again, the Maryville team comp looks so intimidating, but we are counting down. My name is Joshua Fekes Quest. I am here with my co-caster in arms here, Kyle Corvus Crow. You can actually follow us on our Twitters right below here. Type !casters in the chat. Go get the link to our Twitters. You can also hit !Discord in the chat to get our Discord link and join our community, be heard, join in on some of the fun games that we have throughout, because it's just more than League of Legends, although I don't care about them. You might. So if you want to join, go for it. Do that. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/CStarLeague and twitter.com/CSLLOL if you just want League of Legends specific material, and facebook.com/CStarLeague. Got it. And for any of the VODs, any of the shows you missed, Ward Up on Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, hosted by yours truly, or the Quad. You can go look over on our YouTube at youtube.com/CStarLeague. We also have our past games on there, including the one from yesterday, which was a huge one, Texas A&M versus George Mason. And of course, Columbia College versus Lords. You can bet Columbia College is watching this one. You can bet that Maryville watched Columbia College yesterday as well. Go to our YouTube, check out the VODs. And one last quick shout out to Twitch. Thank you for being here with us and helping collegiate community grow, collegiate esport community grow. Wouldn't be here without you. Go follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/Twitch and twitter.com/Twitch as well. But we are actually going to get into game pretty soon. This is going to be exciting, Corvus.
Yeah, no, personally, I am just bubbling over with exuberance to see this one come through. I just could not be more excited, because I feel like this Maryville composition is just hitting its stride at such a right time. And the implications for this going on now to Midwest Campus Clash after this, where they've been invited. Columbia College will be there as well. They have the potential to play, though they are on opposing sides of the bracket, would need to be in the finals. They have potential to play in a couple weeks for the C-Law North Bracket Finals as well. If they do so, both of these teams are going to be punching their way through to, beyond play-ins at that point. Or at least the playoff implications important, but not the most important, as second place in the North still has a chance to fight back through to get to that Riot stage. And North being such a competitive bracket, yes, it matters who wins that final for sure, but I feel bad for the opponents of whichever team does not win that final coming through as well. So a lot riding on the line here, and it feels like if Maryville can keep up this level of pressure and play, they may just be getting started this season.
Yeah, this is the true form of Maryville looks very scary, and that's something that we've been lacking this entire season, and I'm very glad that we're seeing it now. And no disrespect to DeWolf's Claw or CKG going to ADC, but I mean, the champions are the champions for a reason, and they have that cohesion that have brought them to the dance, and they dance best when they have their best team here, and we're seeing that right now. Manitoba, remember, they're undefeated, but have yet to really test their prowess against Maryville or Columbia College until today, where it's showing that Maryville University, sorry about that, they're, again, bringing their A game and showing that, you know, a record is just a record. Even though we have one loss, we can still be the champions.
Very much the case, so... They did have that 5-1. Swiss format means that you do play the best. So they already ran up against Columbia College once this season, and it did not go well for them. However, now with the refined roster, we'll see how that all pans out. It's all best of fives at this point. So I wonder if even in a best of five, they would start Cat Ears, or if they would just jump straight in with Walrus, knowing that every game is so important.
Yeah, that's the real interesting one. So we were talking about earlier in the year, teams hiding their strats. Maryville University, they don't need to worry about that because they're bringing different sorted rosters that their strats are going to be changing game based on who they bring. Similar to how SKT did with Faker in the mid lane. I think they even had a sub in the jungle as well, but situations call for different players to meet those situations. So maybe that's what Maryville is going for, which is great. Gives more opportunity to students and does establish them, again, having a wider range of strategy to go into games with.
Very much the case, and it shows the depth of the ability of those schools that, you know, have recruiting potential at this point in the collegiate scene in general, that this is the kind of stuff you can pull off, and it seems to be putting them miles ahead of so much of the other competition. It almost felt like this season, you know, it was a given that we would be seeing Maryville in the playoffs. To what point, you know, we didn't know, but throughout the Swiss format, we thought, hey, at least, you know, maybe they'll get it sorted out by playoffs. They'll be a threat. They'll be somebody we can look to kind of replicate some of that success from last season. Well, they're proving us right thus far. They still have at least one more game to go, one more win for sure, to make sure they earn the praise that we are maybe a little preemptively levying on their heads. But from those last two games, if that's any indication, they seem to be in great shape here. This is the last-ditch effort, the line in the sand drawn from Manitoba. We'll see if the Bison can do anything to get this one back over the Saints.
Yeah, Maryville University, again, looking great as we see CKG and kept staying relatively even. We've seen a lot of aggression in this bot lane thus far from Maryville University. Hartwig has had a little bit of trouble, but he's been able to capitalize when he sees an opportunity. Getting a triple kill earlier. CKG, he's running out of mana. Needs to be careful. Cat Ears is there.
Ooh. Yeah, Cat Ears with the red buff, mind you, means the flash will be forced. He can tank this because he does have the passive there, so that will pop, but he likely will not die still. Went aggressive for it, but was not able to come out and away with anything. CKG actually had to take a tower shot just to make sure that Cat Ears could get out in one piece, and now West looking for the engage on the bot side. Hartwig, very strong early game. We saw it last time, but the Ignite on his head means some bad news. Prototype has to heal through the Ignite of KBS. What is this going to happen? Because West, the only high health bar left, almost stepping on the trap. Having to go through the minion gauntlet instead means that the trades will just be bloody noses all around, beaten, bruised, and backing on down at this point.
Yeah, a little bit of target priority mishap on the bot side. They did a lot of damage to KBS, but Hartwig was the target, able to hold on to his heal while it looks like KBS and Hartwig going in on a prototype did force the heal out of them, so that is a win for Manitoba's bot lane. See how long they can keep it up, but there's a big wave on the top side. Saskio does not want to fight in this minion wave. He will get demolished by those minions, so just going to farm underneath his turret. And that's been the story in the top lane almost all three games thus far. Saskio just getting pushed to his turret, and then farming underneath turret, and then teleporting when it matters. He's doing it again in game number 3.
Yeah, it seems to be working out for him well thus far. Saskio knows his role to a T in that top side and knows how to play it out, so we'll see whether or not they're going to draw him in with anything, because, you know, he was relatively static in that top lane when it was League of Infernal Drakes. Now it's an Ocean Drake to boot, which means neither team going to be in too much of a hurry to take this one out early. I personally love it, but teams don't seem to put the same priority on it that they do for maybe the Mountain or the Infernal. Sustained focus comps, obviously, there's a little bit of a difference there, but...
Very much so, yeah. And it is important whenever you want to, especially laning phase, if you just want to back off when for these bot laners. If you want to back, do some trading and then back off. Whoever has that Infernal or the Ocean Drake will have the advantage in restoring their health a little bit faster, allowing them to engage and poke a little bit earlier than their enemy. So It does have its purposes for sure. Not quite seeing contention over it thus far, though. But like you said, it's not quite as contended, but it is important to have still.
Yeah, I definitely believe so. Not seeing the same degree of vision, so some good vision coming out. Mostly red side favorite thus far. It is Maryville University with the 2 control wards in that river just to make sure they all stay hunky-dory. Now, potential gank coming in onto CKG. Can he get out of this one? Will be running down, slow up onto Kep, so he's only got 1 champion to worry about.
Oh.
It is Soul now. West flashing in, but just missing the ground pound. Unfortunate. Pulverize did not come through that time and left him in a little bit of a bind, but all the same, now with Cat Ears on the side, we'll see if he wants to hop over this wall. I think should just be Maryville all going their separate ways, returning to the laning phase, where we already see CKG building a 15 CS lead over Kent.
Yeah, and of course did get a flash out of Soul, so it wasn't for nothing. Support flash traded for a jungle flash. We'll have to see which one is more important. Of course, the flash at Pulverize is extremely advantageous to have for West, but he won't be having that for a bit, catching his enemies off guard. But even against KBS and Hartwig, it's still hard to get a flash Pulverize, I should say, because of how safe that lane is, but we haven't engaged on the top side.
Yeah, no, and that's actually a really good Weaver's wall. Almost caught out, but was not there on the right time, so could have been better from CKG, but as he's taking up this tower, he will back off, leave it to Saskio, knows he can't hold on. So it's the great escape coming out from Rodov, does so with his flash, all the more impressive. And does mean actually that this will be a good chance for Kep to reset pretty hard in this mid lane. Ooh, coming in for the game. Cat Ears, yeah, wants to get in. Hartwig gonna be pulled right back in, but the heals are there, and the Let's Bounce doesn't find him. So bounces on out of that one, beating his chest, raising his fist high to the sky, but maybe not necessarily deserving all of that self-grandirization there.
Got a flash and a heal out of Hartwig, though, and a flash out of KBS.
Yeah, definitely worth, even for his own flash, going to feel pretty good there to get 3 summoners out of the bag. For just his one, it is a net summoner gain of 2. Turn out for Cat Ears, and so as he does head on back to the base to reset around the map, we'll see what looks to be the next objective as red buff pings into Raptors being the evident call. Now, they are pinging the away on the bot side pretty heavily. They do not realize that it's just Alistair on the roam there, but very paranoid play coming out from Manitoba, and you have to be at this point. You have to assume every little thing could go wrong for you in a game against Maryville. It's how you stay alive. It's how you beat them at their own game. So I like the communication from Manitoba. We'll see if it's enough to get them any better footing in this game. Slower start, nothing to report here at the 9-minute mark.
Yeah, I definitely do not envy Manitoba right now because they're pressured so much right now. If they lose this game, they are out of the tournament. Better luck next year. Of course, props to them. They've made it very far with a great record, but at the same time, you have to wonder, like, do you play aggressive? Do you try to throw Maryville off their game, or do you play super conservative and just try to wait out the laning phase and, you know, try to counter gank whatever they do or try to counter whatever they do? It's really hard for a team like Manitoba in the position that they're in to make these sort of decisions. Might be getting to them a little bit. Cat Ears in the mid lane, though, maybe looking for a gank.
Yeah, wants to find it. We'll see. He is coming through. The elastic slingshot is there.
He's got it.
Gets the flash, but it's pulled right back through. Flashed a little late on that one and kept. Will be pushed on down. First blood coming through, and it is Cat Ears on the Zac who takes the credit for that one.
Yeah, very nice gank by Cat Ears. It's so easy to gank with the Zac. That's why we see him banned out for so many games. Not only can he gank very easily, but he also sustains himself in the jungle. And with the Tracker's Knife and not being a thing, his ganks are so much more effective because it's harder to track where he is. Obviously, Tracker's Knife being taken out, you don't have that tracking ability. So he can get a little bit more of a surprise gank with a slingshot, where if you had the Tracker's Knife, not so much of the case. But that's out of the game. Zac got that much more powerful, and that's why we see him banned out so much, and that's why Cat Ears insta-locked him when he had the opportunity.
Yeah, they left it on the table, and he took it right off, and that means Ocean Drake #1 going over to the side of Maryville University as well. What's next on the docket? I'm glad you asked. It's another Ocean Drake. So, potentially The sustain there. Well, so 1 Ocean Drake is good. 2 Ocean Drakes is just awesome. I just love 2 Ocean Drakes. I love seeing it on teams. I love playing it when I am a team with 2 Ocean Drakes. It just sets the tone of the game so much for these long, extended sieges. Something that I feel like the team of Maryville, well, they're not going to set up with the longest of sieges. Now they at least can. Obviously, they want to catch someone. They want to burst them down, beat them up really harshly, and move on through, taking the towers all the way, whereas, you know, dealing with the wave clear is going to come out for Manitoba. But the fact that they can just take a second to reset in a fight, heal everything back up, and move through, I mean, it really does make a huge difference.
Yeah, and not to mention, when you're going against a team like Manitoba, who have a lot of disengage with the Janna on their side, using Monsoon and Tornado, being able to get in with the engage from Maryville, if it doesn't go well and they take a lot of damage, they can just disengage, wait a few moments, maybe in like 30 seconds or to a minute, do it all again. The Monsoon, Tornadoes, the working around the cooldowns, that's going to be really huge for them, especially if they get 2 Ocean Drakes. But we see possibly a dive on the bot side, characteristic of every game so far.
Yeah, especially with the Weaver's Wall to cut this one off. Here it comes down. They want to get in. Hartwig's going to have to try to get over with the net. Does he have it? The answer is no. And they do get in onto KDS right now very quickly. Now, Menu West just walks on back there. Net finally off cooldown. Soul there to hold things out, but they're not going to be able to do too much damage as the side of Maryville is just shredding through this tower already. Soul wants to continue to push this off, but how far can they push their luck? Pretty far, as Victor is now joining the fray. Are they going to come down with the rest of the members of Manitoba? We'll see. They might just give the tower over for free. And first turret gone down. Credit Maryville. And they're stretching the goal lead to a healthy 2K here at 12.5 minutes.
Yeah, a very clean dive, but also good on Manitoba for not overstepping, defending that turret when they knew it was going to go down. There was so much in the arsenal of Maryville that if Manitoba decided to go in onto that, they would have ended up losing. Not to mention the numbers game was in the favor of Maryville, as Rodov did not have his teleport to the bot side. Saskio did go down there, so numbers in the favor of Maryville, and now they get the first turret of the game as well. So very nicely played by them. And Manitoba, they just need to regroup. They didn't die there, so that's good. Regroup and try to get themselves in a better position here. As we see a little bit of rotation. West is going to go to the mid lane. We see Saskio actually on the bot side, and that means West is going to go join Prototype in the top lane, shove down that turret. Very typical. Whenever you take that first turret on the bot side, just do the same thing on the top side.
All textbook League of Legends play coming down now from the side of Maryville University. Problem is, they also helped co-write this textbook of Collegiate League of Legends play, so they know it better than just about anybody here at this point, and that means an uphill battle indeed for the side of the University of Manitoba Bisons. See how they respond to this, because the lane swap, you know, we saw the top lane. It's been an island. I mean, these two champions, Poppy and Sion, just feeds into this. Hey, let's leave our top laners, forget about them, and then play around the teleports. Now teleport advantage solidly in the favor of Manitoba, seeing as the last play did go over for Maryville. See if they can do anything with it, because it looks like actually they're just trying to be the first to the rotation by having Saskio back and then just run back down top lane to create, obviously, the next potential 5-man pressure here. And they can leave CKG as a split push pressure, because by the time that Saskio gets there, the Weaver's Wall should just be a couple seconds away from cooldown. There's the ultimate coming in. We'll see if this just pushes him right off the tower. I have a feeling it will. How far do they want to go for this one? The answer is at least a tower, and Soul as well.
Oh, there's CKG.
Out, but there's Cat Shot. He's in. The teleport wants to come through. It might be a little late at this point. I think that's 2 teleports. It is Rodov and Kep both coming through. They may not have expected that, and so it will be a hop-out elastic slingshot for Cat Ears. And now they're on to West, but he is the tanky bear of Alistair there, so how far can he go?
Oh, Hartwig!
Yes, it's the support for support trade, and Hartwig goes down. Rodov is the next target. He wants to get in, and it is just going to be the passive pop. I don't believe he was paying attention to that one, as Cat Ears the target, but can he kill him in time? Because Prototype and Saskio are here for blood, and they will find Rodov. It's only a matter of who they give this kill over to, and it will be slowed up ever so slightly. You cannot run from the Ash too well. You can try to fight, and I like that fighting spirit from Rodov, but it's just going to be buying as much time as he possibly can for his waves to reset. Who are they going to give it to? And it is Prototype. Cat Ears from downtown maybe wanted to get in onto that one, but could not this time.
Now they do have the Rift Herald available, but they're not going to go for it. It's just very surprising. They're going to prep for this second Ocean Drake. Thinking they're going to put low prioritization onto the Rift Herald, knowing that they already have turret pressure on the map already. Mid turret, the only one left for Manitoba as far as their outer turrets are concerned, which is good for Manitoba. That mid turret is the most important one to have does help break up with both sides of the jungle, giving you the ability to go and ward and still have a safe haven. But with the Dragon coming up in about 23 seconds, there's going to be a grouping on the bot side for Maryville. More than likely after that, going to rotate to the mid lane. We'll see if Manitoba can counter any of it.
We'll see how it all comes out. Maryville slouching a little bit on the vision. They're just now getting there to put it on down as all of their endeavors. We're top lane focused. I don't think they're as worried at this point because they know that a team fight should go solidly into their favor with the 3-0-2 prototype and 2-0-0 sitting on cat ears. So the vision is important, but if they do get challenged, you know, it's not as big a deal. Now that's going to be the unstoppable charge out for Saskio, who knew he could not get out of that one alive. They almost had a catch. They will get him out of that fight, but in the meantime, he's just a distraction as the rest of Maryville University locks up second Ocean Drake, now returning to this mid lane, maybe pick a fight.
Yeah, here comes the engage.
They want to fight indeed. Cat Ears hopping in, getting pulled right back. Actually, unstoppable. Not going to matter because Kept was there. The passive was down from the last fight. It's the tail end catching Prototype. It's a good ultimate. The Glacial Prison means that Rodolph can dive this one. He does shut down West on the run here. Does try to stun up under tower. Soul will die to that one as Cat God is just on the sidelines trying to find what he can. Mr. CKG, how far can you take this one? With West's help pretty far, evidently it's Hartwig is the next target. Can they find him? Is this the turnaround? Who knows? CKG's health bar low. Rodolph's health bar immaculate as he does take out CKG. And now West and Saskio, the tank line of Maryville University, are on the run. And they should be getting out of this one in one piece. But it's still going to be a bloodied up Maryville University that limps away from that one. The Ocean Drake and 1 kill, but they trade away 3 for it.
Yeah, Manitoba fighting on their terms for the first time in this game, perhaps in the series, really. Finally getting a foothold onto Maryville in the team fights. Saskio did not have his unstoppable charge available. He was also zoned out for that because of that, having to run away from Hartwig and KBS. So very nice pickup by Manitoba, able to take advantage of the number games as well as just the outright zoning. They had a great amount of zone coming out from KBS and Kept, able to keep people at bay, shove back who they needed to, along with Rodov's ultimate on the Poppy. So very nicely played by Manitoba. But what are you going to get out of it? You have to get something. Maryville lost that fight, and they almost took out the mid lane turret still, somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a tough circumstance for Manitoba. The macro play from Maryville just so strong thus far, and being able to just shove out, balance the waves, keep things moving in their direction has been so heavily associated with the name of this team. I mean, it's just something that's almost feels like you have to expect coming into a Maryville University game, even with their substitutes. That strong level of play for the macro is there. Now that they're so much closer to their starting roster, whether or not Cat Ears and Walrus are interchangeable, or whether or not it still is a sub-starter type situation, who knows? Either way, seeing this prime roster play, thing of beauty here as they're making the North Finals, or semifinals, I should say, look like something you might expect out of a Swiss bracket kind of mid-season play. They're just chewing through this one very, very quickly now. Manitoba, a ferocious competitor, holding on as best they have thus far. 20-minute 10K gold leads last time around. This time it's only a 3K deficit. It's certainly not anything they can't recover, but they gotta find a way to get back into this one before it all goes awry.
Oh, they're actually going in on this.
Yeah, doesn't look to be the best, but Rodolph is there. The Poppy play been working out well for him thus far. We'll see. It is a nice engage by Saskio. Kept goes down. Prototype finding the damage onto that one. Cat God is ignited on the back line. Saskio is punching up Hartwig on the front line, and they're punching through. That is 3 kills thus far. Rodolph knocks one out of the fight. It is Prototype, and that's some damage, but he's all alone at this point, and means he will go on down. The double kill coming out for Saskio, the only survivor being Soul, and Baron in the eyes now of Maryville University. They could be tightening the final screws onto the march forward in this game.
Yeah, they were going for the Rift Herald, but decided just to turn this around. And hold on, they're not finished.
Yeah, no, they want to make sure that Soul definitely cannot steal here. He wanted to get over the wall. They said they read that one like a book. 3 members maintaining the pressure onto Baron. West will come in for the tank line. CKG already just moving up to the top side to prime out this wave because they know that Baron is uncontestable, locked in for sure. And at 20 minutes and 32 seconds, they pick it up for themselves. Maryville University poised to win this game and this series now.
Manitoba did not need to get them off to fight them at the Rift Herald. All they needed to do was pressure them. They could have done that from multiple angles, but it was the one that Cat Ear, they advanced from an angle that Cat Ears could launch in onto them very easily. Get the let's bounce, make them go, get kept in a very bad position. He was the first one to go down in that. And then Hartwig, and that was the 2 damage points for Manitoba. And if those 2 go down, then they have absolutely no chance in a team fight with Maryville University, especially with CKG able to zone off so well with his Weaver's Wall. That means there's going to be more kills and nothing answered back. Very nice play by Maryville University. Could have just let him have the Rift Herald, but instead gave him a team fight that Maryville had the best of there, and gave them the Baron. So Maryville University looking very good in this game number 3. Do not want to make this a series whatsoever. They just want to go on to the finals and call it a done season.
Absolutely the case. They were given an inch. Ever the opportunists, they took a mile, and now they're on to so much more at this point. The top lane, the only one unattended thus far, as the members of Maryville University are collapsing around this bottom lane to try to find the fastest track forward to the base that is that of the Manitoba Bison. We'll see now how well they can defend here. You know, the Caitlyn, the traps, there are a lot to go through, but there's just such clean play coming out of Maryville this time around. 8K gold lead. They were sitting at 3, and in the last 2 minutes, they've stretched it another 5K to their advantage, possibly more. The Weavers
oh my gosh,
divide the team here, and it means that tower is absolute ancient history at this point, Fekez. They're channeling the elastic slingshot too, just to say, don't even think about trying. And they find themselves another one.
Beautiful Weaver's Wall by CKG, and that was the example I was talking about in Champion Select about how you can use Weaver's Wall and for multiple ways. You don't even have to use it offensively. Just cut a team off entirely from whatever they want and then go from there. Such a nice Weaver's Wall, able to give just completely give the turret away. They probably would have got it anyways. They have the Baron Empowered minions there, but with Kept, it's kind of up in the air. He can clear very well, but a Baron Empowered minions, they do have those resistances stacked upon them, but the Weaver's Wall just guarantee that turret, no problem. Maryville University able to pick that one up. 5 turrets to 0 right now. They're looking like they're in game number 1 form, or they're denying every objective from Manitoba.
Yeah, I mean, if we get 2 objectively perfect games and slip-up game, I guess you could call it, if you want to be intentionally belligerent towards the side of Maryville, where they do give up 2 dragons and 1 tower. This is insane levels of control. They're just demonstrating absolute mastery over every part of the map thus far, and putting on a clinic for how every college should look to play and aspire to play from this point forward. Now, we do know that there are some potentially very tough foes hanging off the distance for Maryville. They do come through Manitoba, and they have to fight the final boss of the North, that is Columbia College, who punched their ticket with a 3-0 over Lord's University.
And that will be a rematch from earlier in the season when Columbia College was able to take a match off of Maryville University, blemishing their record in the regular season. Something that nobody has done in the last 2 years, by the way. They were CSL champions. They didn't get into the Riot Collegiate Championships, the Riot Collegiate Tournament overall 2 years ago. They were able to get in the second year, won that as well. And for, again, 2 years, Maryville University has been absolutely dominant. And Columbia College has been the only team in the Riot Tournament to take a game off of Maryville University. So they are looking for retribution in the finals. Manitoba, they would love to keep that from happening, of course, by going to the finals themselves. But so far, if Maryville keep playing the game that they're playing and the game that they want, it's going to be a 3-0 pretty soon. 25 minutes approaching.
Even if Manitoba could somehow dig deep in this game and play through, there's still 2 more that they would have to deal with from there. And Maryville, a team that's not accustomed to losing, but, you know, we'd see if that threw them off too heavily or not. Now look at this. They're engaging onto the front line, and they do find Rodov there. They cannot have any defense now from the side of Manitoba. Soul, the last tank, surviving. And when the wave comes back up, it's a 33-second death timer onto Rodov, so they will be fighting tankless side of Manitoba here. The Bisons do not have many places to fall back to at this point, as Maryville continue to just keep the map entirely restricted Can they get this top lane tower? I think so. It was a nice pick as they continue to push through the Janna shield. Only going to buy a little bit of time. And Saskia running just right on through. Cat Ears as well, just hanging out, trying to find what he can with the Elastic Slingshot potential. But look at that, they pull KBS back in. They want to find it. West is taking the damage of this one. He may go down here, but I think he's out in one piece. No, they continue to fight on. They want to get Saskia. They want to see
Rodov's back.
Is there. Yeah, he finds the TP in. Did not even want to waste running the time with the home guards. Just TPing in as fast as possible, but gets taken down to half health immediately. And I would be surprised if everyone didn't back off here. Unless they're glutton for punishment.
That fight lasted so long that Rodov came back, but it was not enough, and that is a down teleport for Rodov. And yeah, Saskia actually, so this is the point that Maryville's at. They don't even need kills. They're at 13. They're happy right there. They just need objectives because objectives win the game. We saw Saskia use his ultimate just to run into the turret because remember, it does do damage to turrets if you run right into them. And that's exactly what they were doing, just to give a little bit more damage to that turret and get it down a little bit faster because that's the mindset Maryville's at right now. Get objectives because the Nexus is the best objective and you have to get all these other ones just to get there, so let's just do that. We don't have to fight them. They can't kill us. We can kill them, we know that, but we'd rather just take their objectives at this point. The Baron is going to be back up in 45 seconds, and that's going to be the next one that they're going to go after because that will more than likely result in a last shove for Maryville because that's the point where they can just dive and kill the entire team of Manitoba.
Yeah, they definitely need that buff, especially most of their Drakes being the out-of-combat ones. It's another cloud on the docket if the game even gets that far. Well, 2 minutes, yeah, I assume that will be probably still playing this game at 2 minutes. Unless Maryville makes some real magic happen. We are at the point where it can be run through pretty quickly. One team fight does tend to decide it at this point in the game, and the way the team fights have been going looks like all a shoe-in for the side of Maryville University. They're just trying to find a way to do it cleanly, like everything else they've been running down this series. Now Rodov in some trouble here, but look at that, it's the backline, and Hardwig's found up. He has nowhere to go. Will be bounced right back into the middle of it, and CatGod finds that first one for himself. Soul flashing out. KBS is dead. Kept is dead. Soul going to be the next one to fall here.
Oh my gosh.
Only Rodov left alive. They didn't need a death brush. They just needed cat ears and a slight grouping of the side of Manitoba. And they're going to say, forget the Baron. We can charge through this first inhibitor for now. Possibly more as a big wave is building in the bot side. And then Darren is clean if they don't just want to push on through to potentially try to end the game. It'd be a little risky, but they know they can at least weather another fight the way their health bars are. I think they may try for it. The bot lane being the safer bet right now.
No, there's not that long of death timers yet. It's not even 30 minutes. Let's not forget. Even though there's been one Baron being taken already, 3 Drakes and an inhibitor. Death timers are still relatively low, so Maryville not going to overstep their bounds. And we talked about that in game number 2, where they do take the win. They're not going to get cocky. They're going to pick up exactly what they need. And you have to give credit to where credit is due here. It's not just the players, it's also the coaching staff. We'll talk about that in a second here.
Yeah, we might have some fights going down. Rodov trying to get in, but he just wants to find CatGod, not even concerned about the Baron. And Baron comes through, which means the rest of the team can turn their attention now onto Rodov. He's in some trouble, goes down very quickly as Prototype has the damage to shred that one right on through. KBS taken down to about half, does stun up a little bit, takes the time with the ultimate, but only buying a couple seconds, as it was Prototype there for the double kill, ready to make that one happen. They're all gonna back. They know they have the money to spend. The buys coming through. I mean, look at Prototype. He's sitting on 200 CS, but it's 9-1 and 7 is his kill record right now. Consolation Cloud Drake gonna be denying the perfect objective game from Maryville University, so they will get that slight little poke jab right back at you. But that looks to be the only thing that Manitoba are going to be able to take away from this one.
Yeah, that was, again, very consolation prize. That was a Cloud Drake, probably the least important Drake that you want, or least contested Drake in the game. But the Elder Drake is actually going to be next, which is interesting because I thought it spawned at 30 minutes no matter what, whenever you get the Drake. But it's actually going to be spawning after that last Drake, so it is going to be the Elder Drake up next for them. There is Enchanted Crystalline Arrow going to be whiffing there. Prototype, he's been throwing them out just to see if he can get an engage, because why not? Because even if he misses it, Cat Ears is going to engage, or Saskia is going to engage. Somebody's going to engage. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's happening. He's unstoppable. Just takes down the tower. His makeshift Rift Herald coming through for Saskia. This time around will be rooted up. Cat Ears actually taking a good bit of damage on the chin, but how much time can he buy for them to whittle down the health bars of Hartwig and Soul? Looks like a lot. The inhibitor's gone down. He's knocked back out. Saskia, that is, will reset the waves here, but now they're baroning up their super minions. and they say thanks for the free ride. Back to mid lane. We're going to go top, actually. Take out one more inhibitor. It will be the total annihilation of the base of Manitoba. There goes CatGod throwing down the Weaver's Wall. They're coming through. Catiers wants to get in onto this one. The team has nowhere to retreat to except their own Nexus turrets. Heartwing in some trouble here under those turrets. He's down to half health. The Gen ult going to keep him alive for a second more, but Saskio finds that one on the backside. Now they're pushing through. Kemp will be the next one to fall. Rodov is going to go down as well. It's a lot of kills coming through from Maryville University as they do find the ace. They have the Baron minions, and ladies and gentlemen, in 3 games, they take it over Manitoba to cement themselves to the finals, where they will face Columbia College. 2-3-0 semifinalists Giants coming down to fight for this North region, and Manitoba is sent home packing.
Yeah, huge effort by Maryville University, showing that they're